One of the worst ideas ever proposed by humanity has to be putting lead into fuel. This idea helped cars back in the day to have a longer lifespan for their engine. But this invention is also the reason why this guy and this girl exist. This idea was pretty good because it did benefit the engine of the car. But the inventor forgot about the very simple fact that lead is detrimental to the brain. So when the fuel was used, a lot of people's brains got affected by the lead, decreasing intelligence and productivity, and helped skyrocket crime rates. So leaded fuel is now banned in every country. So hopefully people are becoming smarter and crime rates are decreasing and productivity is finally back. Just take a look at this. Even after banning, why are people not improving? Well, there is another invention that has also very similar side effects, and it's called short form content. It's basically like YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram Reels. So how is it dumb? How is it decreasing productivity and how is it increasing crime rates? Well, I'm about to explain that real soon. Those are not the only side effects from this horrid invention. This invention also sets grounds for shitty influences, addiction, mental health issues, and detachment from reality, greed, misinformation, and so much more. So let's get into this. Short-form content is known for being extremely addictive and accessible. From this accessibility, this helped people and organizations gain a lot of fame and money really quickly. It also helped me gain some views too. I use it to promote some information mainly about bad content and technology, and it did really help me. It helped me raise awareness for some issues. Short-form content does have its benefits, but the harm it causes outweighs all the benefits. Short-form content is the birthplace for terrible role models, which are Charli D'Amelio, Lankybox, Topper Goolid, and the list goes on. Well, people like Charli D'Amelio and Lankybox aren't necessarily terrible people, and are actually respectful in public. But the internet fame, respect, and worshipping isn't deserved, and so is their celebrity recognition. They haven't done anything weird, have they? No. So why do you believe they don't deserve fame? Well, the story behind Charli D'Amelio's fame starts at TikTok, where she would lip sync to music or wiggle her hands in front of the camera. Nothing wrong with that, but just mix it with a little bit of luck, and now she becomes a quote-unquote celebrity. Remember, this girl never did anything for a TV show, she just wiggled her hands in front of the camera. And from this fame, she became an example that brainwashed a lot of little girls, including me, to believe that doing effortless dancing can make you famous, which is very wrong most of the time. She's a perfect example of a bad role model, because she shows that by doing nothing you can get fame. And also from another article, I heard that not shaking her hands had her famous, but also vaping at 16 made her famous, which shows that she's really bad at managing her health. To make matters worse, she has a cult following of little girls that try dancing like her and just be like her in general, which is a bad thing because these poor girls are being misinformed to a massive extent and are copying bad habits just to fit in and to be like this quote-unquote role model. This cult following of little girls are also missing out on a lot of good and better things like science, which will actually help the world if more people work towards it. Charli D'Amelio is not as bad as Topper Goolid, but that still doesn't change the fact that she is a bad influencer. Topper Goolid is a YouTuber who makes YouTube shorts that involve him wasting a shit ton of food. And the thing about short form content is that it is easy to access and it can be viewed by anyone because no one has control of YouTube's scary algorithm. Topper Goolid's videos actually did went viral because a lot of people found it funny, but this content literally normalizes wasting food, and luckily people decided to speak about it, which luckily caused Topper Goolid to stop this kind of content and result to giving out food instead. Topper Goolid at least changed, but that still doesn't mean that short form content is not a terrible invention. The amount of kids that try to be like these extremely lazy and useless content creators is just something that YouTube needs to do about. If we don't do anything, humanity will collapse really soon from the amount of people that decide to make short form content instead of like actually doing something useful. Propaganda is found everywhere, in newspapers, but it's also found in apps like YouTube, Instagram, and especially in TikTok. So what is propaganda? It's basically media that contains information, but also it's biased. It's used to promote ideologies and also used to attack other ideologies. But we are talking about extreme ideologies. Take a look at this. The creator of this video, Serbian Knight, makes a lot of edits. Some of them are like really good. But then there's some that are just extremist. He even has a fan base filled with these extremist people that hate all that progressive stuff. But he got terminated because his content was offensive. That's just an example of extreme right-wing propaganda and short-form content. But what about extreme left? Well, there's a lot in TikTok.
So tired of white system being more dedicated to being called a healer and actually doing the work to be a healer. The only thing that you're worried about healing is your bruised ego, being confined, with your complacency in genocide, and your obsession with upholding privilege. You do not need one nice white woman. Are you kidding me? And stop asking marginalized people to do the work for you because you don't feel comfortable with it.
Not only is this promoting extremist leftist ideologies, but they're also showing hate to a specific racial group, which is racism. So hopefully they're banned. Nope, their account is still running and not banned, unlike Serbian Knight, which indicates that the platforms seem to have a political bias. They seem to hate extremist right-wing content, which is a really good thing, and they seem to ban it, but not leftist, which is genuinely horrifying. This puts social media users at risk to be indoctrinated by extremist left-wing content. And that is horrible because it's literally preventing people from accessing other information. Overall, this proves that short-form content is a dangerous invention. Short-form content does nothing about extreme content. This makes it dangerous, as if more people view extremist content, they will be brainwashed. Since it's extremely accessible, a lot will be brainwashed, and it will become dangerous for society, as some of these victims can do extreme acts which can harm society. What if one becomes a politician with such ideologies? Short-form content is a farmhouse for trends. If you ever want some quick and easy fame, just post yourself doing something trendy. But if you are a sane person who really cares about their life, stay away from it. Delete all short-form content out of your life. So a trend that recently killed people has to be fat positivity. This trend went so far that a lot of medical institutions have been forced to avoid difficult conversations, which can miss out in opportunities to improve their health, which can increase chances of people dying. Another trend that got people killed is the crumbing trend. So basically in this trend, people would get household items like deodorant cans, nail paints or markers and sniff them to get high. And this trend resulted in a handful of people dying. There was also another trend, I don't know what it's called, but it involved people prank calling suicide hotlines. These prank calls were extremely annoying and caused most of the suicide hotlines to ignore genuine calls from victims because they might suspect that it might be a prank. So the inability to get help had affected victims, which caused them to lose patience and quickly kill themselves because they can't get help from the hotlines due to these stupid prank calls. Short-form content is probably the best way to put people's lives at risk. Short-form content is like a drug. With its ability to provide fun, meaningless, satisfying entertainment, this convinces your brain to get addicted to entertainment and just value instant gratification over doing your responsibilities and what's actually going on. Just valuing instant, undeserved happiness over reality, this causes people to pick up superficial thinking, which means to only think and develop opinions from what's obvious. For example, one might think it will be good to vape because it looks cool and you will become popular, which is a choice made from knowing what's obvious and not made by considering other information such as the side effects. This invention also sets grounds for failure, for students especially, who will definitely spend some of their study time on short-form content. This is called procrastination, and it not only affects students, but it can also affect writers. This can cause them to miss deadlines, bad quality writing, and have their ability to generate ideas be destroyed. And also with software developers, which is a job that's vulnerable to short form content because it involves technology, which can be used to access the short form content. This procrastination can lead to lazily written codes and damaged ability to think of creative ideas. This inability to generate ideas and become focused in short form content is halting society from moving forward. So far, short form content is known for giving fame to the laziest people, making harmful actions look cool, and detaching people from reality, and also a safe space for propaganda. But this thing is also impacting and harming you psychologically and also physiologically. Firstly, this decreases our attention span to a large extent from the amount of content that the algorithm provides, making people's brains overstimulated. This overstimulation impacts our perception of reality as it's slow-paced and uninteresting compared to short-form content. We used to have a 36-minute attention span, but it sadly decreased to an ugly 8 seconds, which is 1 second less than a goldfish. And that's dangerous as it makes us more vulnerable to misinformation. With such a microscopic attention span, we won't be bothered to research and educate ourselves when being shown any kind of information. We won't be bothered to educate or research because it takes such a long time, and with that short attention span we would get too impatient. Not only short form content can damage our attention span, but it can also harm our mental health. Because when we are on short form content, we are constantly switching from one video to another, and it makes us unsatisfied and tired. Now let's talk about the physical effects. Every time you watch a YouTube Shorts video, you're gonna get hit with dopamine, which gives you a nice feeling, so therefore you decide to watch more. This creates an endless cycle where the brain craves for more videos, which is basically addiction to a waste of time, because majority of short form videos are wasting seconds of our lives and are having no purpose other than getting some quick fame, money, or just ruining your brain in general. This can also alter your neuroplasticity too. So basically this means one's ability to recognize and form neural connections when something is learned. From your brain being wired to consume information in a small amount of time, basically short form content, this alters your brain to do the same. Rather than engaging in deep, meaningful thinking, short form content weakens the ability to focus. Your ability to focus is damaged by short form content because it interrupts attention and also makes you less motivated to learn anything because you're learning information in a small amount of time from short form content, which isn't like full information. This very popular form of entertainment is also known for giving praises to the most average and talentless people, causing other people to be interested and lose all their useful potential and dedicate their lives to become NPCs rather than doing something useful and helpful to society. Not only does it turn people into NPCs, but it also indoctrinates so many people into propaganda. This literally prevents people from learning the truth, and you might never forget about the amount of people that died from the spread of these trends in short form content. So all of this proves that short form content is murderous to society. This invention is decreasing our IQ levels, decreasing our attention span, and if everyone becomes like this, we might have some really bad accidents happen again. What if some kid who could be one of the best politicians might be brainwashed by the ideologies and become someone worse than Mussolini? Or someone at an oil refinery clicks on the wrong button from the lack of focus. Or a medical student who was so close to finding the cure for cancer, but then watches some TikTok and forgets about the cure that could be saving ongoing generations of people. So what can we do to prevent this disgusting invention from harming society? Maybe blocking websites? No, because it's easy to access short form content, which can be done by opening a new Google Chrome account for Chrome users. What about negotiating with the owners of the platforms? This is a decent idea, but considering the amount of money that these platforms make from short form content, there's a very high chance that these platforms will disagree to our ideas because it will affect the amount of money they earn. From another YouTube video, they said something about YouTube finally improving their propaganda system. Having a good propaganda filter doesn't always mean that the content is good. This still enables people to upload time-wasting content similar to what Topper Goulard or Charlie D'Amelio uploads. These videos aren't necessarily bad, but they can impact people negatively, as people could be working at good jobs that could result to making users talentless content because it makes them more famous and it's very fast and it earns more money. So it will be extremely beneficial if platforms have a talent and usefulness policy that will help people with actual talent become more famous and more noticed, and make the audience less vulnerable to resorting to make short form content. What about the addictiveness of short form content? Platforms must have an extremely strict time limit to this form of entertainment, considering its extremely harmful side effects when consumed to a large extent. I'm pretty sure YouTube has this break, but this thing is very terribly lenient. You can just click no and that's it. And it also comes with this disgusting feature where you can adjust the amount of hours you spend on YouTube. So the way we can protect humanity from short form content is by convincing platforms to implement these features we just mentioned. But sacrificing people's amazing ability is literally what platforms do to get money and become popular. Well, it's better if we create our own platform with a more equal and smarter algorithm that we can seamlessly use without getting manipulated. Well, if you guys believe there's a better way to prevent this, join our Discord political party and comment below and discuss about ideas that you could make to protect humanity from short form content.